Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI summer season. We're today for the Belgian Grand Prix round 5 of the Friday tier. We're in qualifying at the moment. We don't know the weather for the race. We've only got a few minutes left. Apologies for the wait. We had a few technical difficulties and now we are good to go. Zingy, pole position at the moment, only by a 10th, as Nabil has managed to do a very good job to get themselves up there. Brand new driver Katet and George Cad are both on the grid right now. We've got Katet yet to set a lap time, joining the session late, but now having the ability to do so. They are using the energy, so I don't know if they're trying to set this lap. It does look like they were, but they were saving on the energy in the middle of the corner. So an interesting strategy. We'll see what lap time they can do, and then we'll head over to Zingy very shortly, who will be going to look to improve. And yes, we're in the team cars this evening. We are in the actual cars that the drivers will be racing for with their championship and their constructors. That is Katet finished their P6 for now, and that will be quite possibly the end of their qualifying, unless they go for a second run but on the same tyre. That could be possible. Now we have Gilly right behind Zingy, both warming up for laps at the moment, and Zingy just saving the energy, everything they can. Gilly wants to go first, so Zingy's going to have to back off a little bit and let them go, and then he'll be good to go. He's got 2 minutes on the clock, so looking to try and get 2 runs. Going to open up the final corner nice and wide. Gilly sets their lap actually, and that will be a P1 for them for now, a 42.6. Zingy's got a bit of work to do. They cannot afford to make mistakes here. They do have time, as I said, again, to possibly make a mistake and then save on this lap and then go one more time, but it would be a big risk for sure. Now, that is a 43.2 and a 40.6. That's not an ideal situation for Zingy. Gilly moves out the way as Zingy gets in down into the Lacombe chicane. Nice and tidy. Turn 5, turn 6. And into the hairpin down the hill, braking just around the curb. When it starts into 4th, they're actually into 3rd gear. Have a bit of a stutter on the throttle because of that. And on the exit, nice and close as you can get. Truck limits can be difficult, and that's what we'll have to watch out for this evening. Getting as close as you can to the inside curb without touching the grass at all costs. In 7th gear, flat out through Pouon. And now you go into the Fania chicane, aka Piff Path. Don't want to touch the inside curve for the first one. Maybe brush the second one, but gotta be so tentative on the exit. Zing will have lost some time there on the exit. Not happy with that racing line, but still, it's tidy. Don't touch the inside curb as you go through Pool Frere, otherwise you will end your lap prematurely. And now we go down the straight through Blanchemont, the fast left corner. If it's raining, then we might need a lift, but if not, we'll be absolutely flat throughout the entirety of the race. The final chicane, the bus stop, and on the exit, what's it going to be for Zingy? Second gear, DRS to the line, and it's going to be a 42.5. Only a 10th ahead of Gilly in the end. Maybe a few mistakes right there, and I say that because Gilly is on 2-lap-old soft tyres, by the way. That is an impressive job there from Gilly to be that close. Zingy could have done a little bit more. Could this man try and push their way up the order? We've got Terence currently on their final lap. Zingy will, I believe, not go again. That is a wow, crazy steering angle. Zingy is going again, right? They actually saved on the battery, so they're not going again. I'm not entirely sure. They've invalidated on that one, so that is their session over regardless. We've got Nabil, who is on a lap right now. They did a 43.3 earlier on. They have been quick in the past. They've been very quick. They have struggled in this game recently. We saw them last time around in Silverstone have a few issues, but they get a second chance, and they are in the Ferrari car, which might be a little bit easier to drive compared to a car that you're not really used to looking at. And although it shouldn't really change the performance too much, unless you never really know, it's the F1 game after all, it does still make you feel a little bit different, and that can change things. Now, Nabil, he's got half a lap to go to try and set their time. We've got Terence, who will finish their qualifying run very, very shortly. Then JJ will swing up too before we go to Nabil, and we'll see what Terence can do in the Alpine car today. DRS across the line for the driver from Hong Kong. And it's going to be a P4 for now. JJ is going to finish their lap before we get to Nabil. And we'll see what this man can do in the end. Final chicane, there you go. It all matters at this point right here. And they've drifted on entry. It's going to cost them a lot on the exit. What's it going to be for JJ? It's going to be a P3 still. Will their teammate be able to beat them? Nabil, pole position for Nabil by 2/10 in the end. Just under 2/10. Tom Robb, P6 at the moment. They've got a few more corners to go. George Cad will cross the line just ahead of them. What can they do this evening to start off the event? Of course, for qualifying, Tom Robb a 43.504. The final two corners, nice and tidy. A lot tidier than JJ managed to get it. It's going to be a P... Ooh, where was that? It was a couple positions ahead. It wasn't pole. It was 4th place in the end. But that is Nabil taking pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. Zingy in P2. And then we'll have Gilly, Tom Robb, JJ, Terence and Catet. George Cad at the back of the pack. And that is the grid for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We're away. Zingy off the line. Well, Nabil spun it. I do not believe it. The pole sitter is down the order off the line. And it's going to be Zingy taking the lead immediately. Tom Brainer gets a good start and jumps Gilly as well. A brilliant start from him. And they're going to look to try and take the lead of the Grand Prix immediately if they can. In the slipstream, tyres look the same on the medium right there. George Cad goes off the circuit as they're side by side with Cadet. Gilly's gonna lead the Grand Prix as Zingy goes defensive for Tom Robb, and here comes JJ as well to the inside of Zingy. There's almost contact between the two. Terence is right behind. That's George Cad making a mistake, and unfortunately it's cost Cadet as well. I don't know if Cadet has damage. It looks like they do have right end plate damage immediately this early on in the Grand Prix, which is absolutely tragic. I do not know what to say. What a shame to see that happen immediately for the brand new drivers. Nabil, though, that was absolutely tragic, just a little bit too excited on the throttle. First time on pole position in a long time, and that is their race done for the moment, but they can still get back into this. As long as they don't give up, they should be fine. The top 5 are currently in a train, very close between JJ and Zingy there into the Lecombe chicane. It could have been all over for those guys, but Gilly has found themselves leading the Belgian Grand Prix at the moment. Zingy goes for the move around the outside as they exit the Paul Frere corner. And now Terence and Tom Rob have actually switched up as well. So those two are trying to tussle for position in the meantime and see what they can do. That is Tom Rob looking to the inside line of Terence as they get up the final corner. Not even the entry to the bus stop. They were really looking for another move. Tom Rob having good pace here in the past in F1.5 last season, of course, fighting for the podium. And they're trying to see if they can carry that good momentum across games. Now DRS will be available for Gilly here. Will they be in a position to overtake or not? I don't quite know, but they're on the softs, whereas Zingy is on the mediums. So they're going to be quick, but in a straight line, it doesn't really make that much of a difference on what tyre you're on. Yes, it does, in theory, but in the F1 game, by the time you get quite a lot of speed going, it doesn't make that much of a difference compared to other factors in the game. Now Gilly is risking losing DRS right now to Zingy, and JJ is going to be on the hunt to try and fight Gilly, who's on that medium tyre, is going to be very quick. Terence is on the soft, but Tom Rob is on the medium. It looks like it will be a medium soft to a medium, so we got to make sure that we keep an eye out for that and then see what we can get from it later on. Now I'm going to quickly look at the details as we can see the tyre situation right now for everyone. George Card doesn't have damage, but Catet has decided to stay out and try and make the best of a bad situation. So although having this end plate damage, they're not giving up. They're going to keep it in and see what they can do, and the Bill seems to be doing the same thing. It's not going to be easy. Let's see if Catet can try and catch up to George Cad and see if they can maybe make a move, and hopefully they can get their front wing repaired and later on get into the battle. Now Zingy takes the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That is going to be a 3-second, unfortunately, for Catet right there. Now, we do see DRS be potentially lost right here from Zingy by Gilly. That being said, Gilly seems to be doing just enough. Although using all their battery, they might have got the DRS. Do they have it? JJ doesn't care. He's going to be using the energy regardless. Got a load of it left right in the back of that car. And they have the DRS as well, despite Gilly also having that advantage. And it's going to be an easy move right there. That is Terence. I thought we were going wide, but it's not. It's going to be Terence and Tom Brainer right there. That's going to be JJ making a mistake on the exit of Malmedy. It's going to show Terence the door momentarily, who wants to have a go on these soft tyres. You can drive these soft tyres for a bit of time around this circuit, around 10 to 11 laps if you wanted to. Wouldn't recommend it. Unfortunately, that's George Cad around. That is going to be Nabil catching up very shortly, and it does mean that Catet is able to get through nice and easily. In the meantime, that is almost, and now is a 2-second gap that Zingy's managed to break. Gilly on that soft tyre just not working compared to that medium tyre, which Zingy's usually very good on mediums, as I've always said in my entire time commentating, and he continues to show that. JJ on that medium as well. They're not going to risk losing any pace anytime soon this early on into the Grand Prix, of course. We are on a 35% distance race as well, so it is a shorter race. It does mean the tyres are going to be slightly different, and it does mean that a soft, medium soft is definitely possible, as it was already possible with a 22-lap race, which would have been the normal 50% race, of course. Now JJ is looking very, very racy right behind Gilly, but also Tom Rob is looking very racy behind Terence. They just can't quite find a way right through right at the moment with the DRS and the tyre situation. That could change shortly. Terence, however, isn't going to have any of it, and they're trying to pressure JJ into making a move. You could see they're using the energy. They're going to try and come along through. It's so close between the two. The internet connection didn't make it easy. They've managed to get through just about cleanly, and JJ JJ goes through. Terence wanted to have a go at getting 2 overtakes done in one go, but they didn't quite get it. Tom Robb, unfortunately, wasn't able to capitalise and instead has managed to get the throttle stuck a little bit and lost the rear end. Unfortunately, they're now 3 seconds behind, still in a position to be able to catch up and fight these guys later on, especially being on the beneficial strategy for Tom Robb as well. Gilly and Terence obviously almost having that moment right there. Terence is pretty quick at the moment, looking very racy, and they made the move ahead of their fellow soft tyre runner, so they're going to try and see if they can push with JJ right now, and if they can maybe make that move. Would they go for a severe undercut as well? That could work on a fresher tyre for them regarding the strategy that they're on right now. In the past, an undercut has worked wonders. That being said, this is a circuit that has some very long straights, and it can go very different if you're not careful. Now, on to the next lap. Terence gets the DRS, but they are struggling a little bit. They're not too far away. 6/10. Would it be enough to really make that move? You'd have to use a lot of battery, and JJ, he's got a lot of it himself, although braking and losing control under braking into the first corner. It's going to compromise their exit slightly, but not enough. Now, who's going to be willing to use their energy? Will Terence be willing to make an overtake at this stage, or with this tyre regardless? Or would we see possibly Terence JJ use all of their energy? It looks like Terence is still going to go for the move into the Combe chicane, and they've completely sent it, and I don't know how they haven't made contact. That is an absolutely incredible attempt. Almost went horribly wrong. I call it incredible. If it was a little bit closer, I would be probably calling it clumsy. That is as close as you'll ever get to making an overtake and not making contact. Absolutely incredible. JJ manages to live to fight another day. Basically, their fate was in Terence's hands, and they've managed to take avoiding action just about the last moment from Terence. But very good effort for commitment. Now, they've got to try and stay in front of Gilly, but Gilly can't find a way through. That internet didn't look exactly great right there. Sometimes it's fine, but it's not exactly perfect for those few corners that we just saw. And I believe Gilly is also having some connection issues. So if you've got 2 drivers with connection issues, that can be very catastrophic for many drivers. Now, Tom Robb has gone into the pit lane, and they've gone to go for a very severe undercut onto that hard tyre as they started on that medium tyre. They didn't go for the soft, which is an interesting call. For sure. They're going to see if they can really try and make this work. They've got Catet in front of them. Catet does have damage, of course, so they are going to be able to catch up quite nicely. They do go into the pit lane now, though, and they might go for a set of hards as well as what Tom Robb is currently doing. Now, Terence, unfortunately, no, they retire from the session, which is a difficult one, but it is what it is. Now, lap 6 out of 15, we've still got a long way to go. Gilly makes the move. There you go. As I was just going to say it, he's already got the job done into the Combe chicane. Going to try and use the momentum to see if they can catch up to JJ, but JJ's managed to break away from DRS a little bit here. Now, they're both on that soft tyre, so they have to work together. Their strategies aren't going to make it any easier for them. Of course, if they can get an undercut right, that could be great for their situation, but it could definitely be very difficult later on into the Grand Prix, where JJ should have an advantage. Zingy, of course, leading the way on the same strategy as JJ and the Bill as well, but currently very relaxed in this situation, looking to score some points not only for Mercedes but for himself, to try and see if they can close up the gap to Nifojan in the championship, who is not here today. JJ trying to maintain that DRS range and currently doing a very good job. It's not really changed much at all. And against the soft tyres, which seem to be able to go a fair distance in this game, they are doing a decent job. That being said, those softs should start to drop off now. So in a couple of laps, maybe if not this lap, next lap, we should see JJ start to extend a little bit more. Now JJ could get DRS right here off the lapped car, which I don't think Gilly would have expected, and that is very, very unfortunate right now for one of the British drivers, but the other British driver has managed to get a lovely DRS tow and 4 tenths ahead now. They get Terence to go through, who takes a wide berth to try and avoid any issues of connection. Very well thought out right there from the Alpine car. They get a phenomenal run right there through Malmedy as well compared to Gilly, so they're absolutely sending it. And overall, instead of JJ being able to extend that gap, it's kind of been brought down immediately. That being said, in this mid part of the circuit, he's managed to bring it back a little bit, and now that's Zingy getting a 3-second time penalty in a very interesting part of the circuit. They've got it at P1 limit or 2 around this circuit. Now, Terence had that amazing Lecombe section, which allowed them to be able to catch up massively to JJ, gaining about 4 tenths in a couple corners. But since then, they have lost out, and JJ is able to bring that back up to 4 tenths and more, so 1.6 tenths right now. They dive into the pit lane just about, going as aggressive as they can on the throttle without hitting the wall. Gilly's done the same, and that's now going to be an opportunity for Tom Robb to see if this undercut really has worked. As they come around the final few corners, they make a big mistake on the throttle, which isn't going to help them. That is the way these tyres work, unfortunately. Around the Belgian Grand Prix circuit, you get a lot of slippage with the less grippier tyres. Now you can see the cars right in front of him trying to get on the throttle. They're going to get the DRS at least, but those mistakes in that final sector right there and the first corner, that was crucial. And more mistakes right there for Tom Robb on this tyre, making it incredibly difficult. He gets the DRS, which will help him catch up, but they're just going to be struggling. That's another retirement there for Nabil, unfortunately. That is Tom Robb catching up by the end of the straight, but by the time we get to the rest of the lap, I think they probably will struggle, and they're just going to look to try and score points instead. These tyres really do seem to be very difficult for them to be able to hold on to, and a circuit that the tyres can really go a long way, and especially if you've got 2 cars ahead of you on the medium tyre, the softer compound compared to yours, it's going to be virtually impossible to be able to bring it back. It's a shame that the hard tyre seems to be that difficult. I didn't want to say that hard, no pun intended, but that difficult to be driving on in this situation at this circuit. But it makes sense. It's a 35% distance race, so it's going to be not so straightforward compared to a soft medium. JJ goes into the pit lane to now try and cover off the medium tyre runners. They've done a majority of the Grand Prix, if I say that correctly, on a set of mediums, so they should be absolutely fine to go to the end on the softs. Now, what Zingy's looking to do right here is go a little bit longer and probably try and get an easier attempt at a fastest lap later on. They literally have no reason to risk that right now. Terence is getting a good run, but unfortunately not enough to get JJ just yet. They're gonna have warm tyres, and they have actually got a brilliant run as they go down the straight. No DRS, but just momentum from the pit lane exit compared to turn 1 is what Terence is using right now. ERS is available to JJ, that's what they're using to now escape. Now, warmed up tyres right here for these drivers is going to help massively, as you'll be able to see right now. Terence going through the corners, but that soft tyre is almost already heated up. Not quite, but compared to the mediums, it will be heated up enough very, very shortly to have the advantage regardless. And with clean air, with a nice gap advantage as well, JJ is going to be very hard to catch right now from the 2 medium runners. Zingy, will they make that call to go into the pit lane, or are they going to still stay out for that fastest lap further to the end of the Grand Prix? As expected, they continue, and they're probably going to go as long as they possibly can, although they could probably get to the end of the Grand Prix on this set of tyres right now. It wouldn't be wise to, and they will go in a couple of laps' time for a set of softs to go for that fastest lap, which they can do. A 25-second gap is what they have. JJ will have the ability to catch up in the meantime, but they had about an 8-9 second gap advantage already. DRS possibly available to JJ down the start-finish straight right here. They didn't get it off George in the end. George goes into the pit lane on that soft tyre, and that's going to be another retirement, unfortunately. All 3 voluntary retirements this evening. It does mean that Tom Robb could go for any risk right now and nothing be mattering to their position. They can only go further forward in this Grand Prix. Will they stay out to see if they can pick up any pieces, if anybody makes any mistakes? Probably. We'll see how that one goes. Of course, Zingy does need to make sure that he does finish 3 seconds ahead of JJ at least, because otherwise that could be very, very catastrophic. In the meantime, Terence has done a great job to maintain that gap right there to JJ, seemingly that their pace has just picked up on this set of medium tyres, just maybe feeling a little bit more comfortable. Maybe JJ's not quite utilising that soft tyre as much as he could. Now, the thing is, what you've got here is you've just been on a medium tyre. You hop onto a soft tyre. Now, you've got to try and adjust to that very quickly. And it's not like you've gone from a soft to a medium and you're trying to push over the limits, but you slowly reel it in because you know you haven't got that grip. You've now got all of a sudden, after, 9 laps of trusting the car on the grip level you had, then push it further, which can be difficult. It might be an explanation to why Terence was just catching up so much there. Now he's managed to switch it around, JJ, and brake a little bit more. Usually very slippery in a straight line as well. They've managed to get a nice advantage down there, but into the bus stop chicane, although it looked like Terence was absolutely flying, they have understeered a little bit as they sent it a bit too hard into the corner. That's going to allow Gilly to get a nice little run and a bit of confidence to be able to go for a move shortly. If they want to go for it, they could do so. They've got a bit of ERS in that car. Terence also got a lot, but using it in the wrong place right there on the exit of the corner, bit too far in right there they were using it, and that's lost them a lot of time there to JJ, and that's a 3-second time penalty as well to Terence, so it's not going to be a second invitation needed for Gilly, who will make that move, go into the lead of the Grand Prix, take the racing line after a wide berth, and they will be comfortably in that P3 spot, looking to see if they can try and catch up to JJ. They gained about 3/10 there to JJ, according to that slipstream. They do lose a tenth immediately, which makes sense because of that tyre situation. But for now, that is it for them. Tom Robb unfortunately losing more time. Probably worth them looking at a fastest lap attempt at some point, although that being said, if Terence was to make a mistake, just a little one, they might be able to get within their time penalty range. Now, Zingy, will they be going into the pit lane in a moment's time, or will it be another lap yet? It will be another lap yet. As I said, they're probably going to wait until lap 13, then have lap 14 to warm up those tyres and then go for the fastest lap on lap 15. That would be very efficient. You could give yourself 2 opportunities to do so if, of course, you decided you were going to go and pit at the end of this lap. So he could still go an extra lap. It's safer to go less. It's safer to go this lap, but an extra lap would be... I say riskier, it means that you get fresher tyres towards the end part of the race, the very end, which could be safer regarding getting a fastest lap. It would be riskier, of course, if you mess up that lap, but also it would be riskier regarding the cars behind possibly catching up. But that being said, a 24-second gap right now is enough for Zingy to come out ahead, regardless of the situation. And when they'll be on a lot fresher tyres as well, compared to JJ looking for a fastest lap, they will be flying and looking for a pretty nice breakaway. That is Terence going for the move into the Lecombe chicane right there on Gilly. It was done slightly on the brakes right there. Gilly has to back off and let that one go, as they do once again try to catch up a little bit to JJ. In the meantime, they've managed to gain about a tenth compared to what they did before. It almost stays the same. That's going to be Tom Robb retiring on the exit of Malmedy, which is an easy place to retire, but this late on into the Grand Prix, they might not get points actually. They might not get points. It's a 35% distance race, so you don't need to complete. You have to complete a lot more laps in order to get to that kind of 80-90% mark of completion. Now, Zingy will be pitting at the end of this lap, I believe. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one. I say that. Zingy currently has a set of... he has the fastest lap. So they, in theory, don't need to worry. The chance of Gilly being able to all of a sudden push and get those 2/10 is going to be difficult. They've not only got a car in front of them, they do have a full battery in fairness, and DRS, so it's not impossible, but it would definitely just be the best idea, the safest idea now, forcing to pit at the end of this lap. And we'll see if anything can happen. I very much doubt it. That is a tragic situation there for Tom Robb, and we will find out in a few moments whether they have scored points or not as we're getting to the closing stages of this Grand Prix. And Gilly is going to get DRS once again. No DRS for Terence. Left or right side? It will be the right side as Terence closes the left-hand door, and that will be an easy move done. Once again, a wide berth and into the Lecombe chicane. They won't gain too much on JJ this time, 2.2 seconds, and that advantage that Ferrari has right now is just a little bit too much. Not using the energy, just kind of relaxing with the car at the moment. Terence used a little bit maybe to defend, but Gilly didn't need to use too much as they had that DRS along a very, very long straight, I should say. Managed to get my words out just about. It's been a couple of moments since I've last commentated, so I do apologise for the issues, but we are hopefully good to go and getting warmed up again for the rest of the season. Now, this is the long-awaited expectation of Zingy going into the pit lane. They do clout the wall a little bit. They might need to get some repair damage. I think they should be fine. They probably didn't get damage from that, regardless if they did. They would be okay to get the fastest lap, and they do actually losing an M plate, and they won't be able to get a replacement. Now the question is, will Zingy be able to improve on their existing lap? I think they can. It doesn't exactly make it easy though. Now JJ is right behind, and an M plate like that, I don't think it will be enough. I don't think it will be enough for them to catch up to Zingy. Looking at the time penalty situation, that's the wrong one. It's that 3 seconds right here for Zingy. It's going to be virtually impossible right now for anything to change. We want to have a quick look at this though. Terence not able to make a move right here on Gilly. They get the DRS, which helps them out a lot, but they do have a 3-second time penalty, so there is actually no point of them fighting Gilly too hard, as Gilly's trying to see if they can put the pressure on JJ at this final stage of the Grand Prix, as they're fighting for P2 on the podium right now. And despite being on the slightly disadvantaged side for the front and downforce, Zingy still has a massive amount of pace in that car. I will be honest, I think the 5-lap difference would have made it still enough for Zingy to be able to maintain it. Not too easy, and it doesn't seem too easy to be honest, but Zingy goes purple in that final sector. They've got a very light car right now with them, so that is an advantage that they do have. So the less downforce needed to keep that less heavy car down, of course, but it still would have been nice to have that front wing for comfort reasons. But now they will go for that fastest lap attempt, and in the meantime we'll see if Gilly can catch up. Right, you could see there, Gilly hoping that Terence wouldn't be able to catch up so he can have a clear go right here at JJ. Terence makes a mistake on the exit, on the entry they're nice and close, but they're not going to be close enough to be able to make a move. Gilly using everything they can, JJ now using all their battery, but it is only a second gap right now. Gilly's trying their best to reel them in. Used to drive the Ferrari car, now in the McLaren against the Ferrari. and they're giving it their best shot to try and see if they can make that final move. A bit of understeer, but trying to get the car rotated so they can get on that throttle. And within a second now, there's no DRS for the rest of the lap until you get to the final straight, which has a bit of DRS, but not much. Now they really need to make sure that they get close enough for Blanchimont, save a bit of energy, and maybe be able to have a go down the straight. But they're both equal on energy. Track position will be going to JJ at the moment. In the meantime, Zingy's been able to break away, which is phenomenal. Terence isn't able to hold on, but will still take this P4 spot right now. 7/10. Gilly has done a mega job to bring this back. It's going to be to the final chicane. If they can get anything done, the slipstream will be there, but I don't think it will be enough in the end. They give it their best shot, their absolute best. Zingy wins the Belgian Grand Prix. We're going to get JJ come around the final corner, and they will take a very, very nice P2, and Gil will take that P3 of Terence in P4. Now, yes, of course, there was a small grid, but we did get some racing. We did get some decent racing. It was nice and close all the way to the end. And I think we can thank all of these guys for giving us a bit of a show. We do have 16 drivers signed up to race, but only these guys have turned up. It's the summer season after all. This is why it's here. And yeah, but these guys have managed to be the heroes today and give us a show. Zingy takes the win, JJ in P2, then Gilly. We've got Terence, Tom, Rob, DNF in class as DNF, then George, Cadner, Bill and Cadet earlier on in the Grand Prix. We're going to skim through the race director just in case, and we'll go for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome to the post-race interviews for the Belgian Grand Prix. That was obviously a small grid, but we had a nice little intense battle at the end. We start the interviews with Tom. Tom, it was a nice train that we had, of course, at the beginning, but unfortunately didn't quite work out with, I think, was it a little spin in the middle part of the race, and then that just kind of made it very difficult from there.
Yeah, definitely. I was quite surprised with my qualifiers, even though I was quite a bit off the first three. Got a really good race start. Nearly got zingy on the straight. Got a bit boxed in, lost a few positions, and then just tried to fight myself back up to the front. Then Lecombe, yeah, I always struggled in my training today. It is a bit of a different part of the track in terms of grip, at least for me on the controller. So yeah, the half's been really unlucky. Then chose to go for the really early undercut because I thought I can't get into DRS range by just normal driving and my normal strategy. It worked really well. Like I got into the second range again. But the hards aren't the best tires on the circuit. Mediums are for me clear the best. So it was really annoying for me to go on these tires, and especially while getting back in the fight, I had to really push. So the tires had a lot of trouble because I really pushed them, and you kind of had quite early that I overpushed them. Got a bit unlucky then with the grip, and with my crash, I don't know really what happened. Like, I got a bit far outside on the curb, and got stuck on it because for some reasons you can get it. Then I got off the curb, managed to get grip, nearly saved it. But I marginally bumped my tires on the wall, but not in a weird angle, like completely parallel to the wall. And for some reasons, my rear right tire just decided to plop up and bounce under my car.
Your rear right?
My rear right.
What? A rear tyre? That's incredible. Okay, well that's very unfortunate, and that doesn't really make any sense. So I'm very sorry for that. It would have been good to see you maybe look for a fastest lap attempt at the end, but I guess it didn't work out. Yeah, not an easy one. It's a very difficult circuit. It's a long circuit as well, so the practice that you do get, you get less laps, of course, relative to other circuits. So it's not an easy one. But very good effort, and thank you very much for giving it a shot. The next Grand Prix is Hungary. A lot of corners around that circuit, less straights. Is that a circuit that you think you can do well at?
I think I feel more comfortable on Hungary than on Belgium. Like last year, it was also a good track, but not as good as Belgium. But I feel like I can carry my confidence onto this game compared to Belgium.
Fair enough, fair enough. I was going to say you did very well in Belgium, of course, and it didn't seem to pay dividends in this race, which is a shame to see because you deserve to be further up. But thank you very much, Tom, and we'll see you next time. Really good effort today. And we move on to Gilly. Gilly, it was a long old race. You didn't really get a relax for the entire time. I'll just let you talk through it from Corley to the final lap.
Can't remember what track was it.
Spain? Spa.
I did well in quali. I'll take that. I was happy with my quali performance. I can't remember what happened, to be honest. The start, the Ferrari, I think, spun a little bit at the start, so that was convenient for me. I think I took the lead into lap 1, so I'll take that as well.
Yeah.
And then Zingy wasn't my race, so I'm not defending against Zingy. So then I was just tried to stay with JJ and Terence, I think, because they both did me in one straight, which was a bit rude. And then towards the end of the race, it was just trying to catch back up to JJ when his tyres were getting old, but I couldn't quite do it.
Fair enough. You were very close though. Do you think one more lap and you'd have him?
Yeah, easy.
Easy. Fair enough. Well, yeah, you had a very long race with a lot of battling, of course. Wasn't easy, I could see, from maybe a little bit of lag, at least from our side. Now and again, it was quite difficult, but for the most part, it was okay. But very well avoided from your side. Hungary, whether you're there or not, is that a good circuit for you compared to Belgium?
Sometimes. I do quite like Hungary. I don't like Belgium, so yeah, I think I prefer Hungary.
Fair enough. Do you hear that, Belgians who don't like you? Oh, wait, no, the circuit. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Well done
Belgium.
today. Good effort. And we will see you next time. Really well done today, and good luck in Belgium.
Thank you.
We move on to Zingy. Zingy, less drivers, but still a win. You get those points and you close up to the championship lead. It was, apart from obviously the race start, the most significant part of your race was your pit lane entry. Once again, Belgium pit lane entry just doesn't seem to be something that you've conquered quite yet.
No, yeah. The pace was quite bad for me. It was very poor for my standards, and I tried to combat that by just driving smoothly and just driving consistently more than anything else, and I managed to pick up the pace slowly but surely, which then led me to have that big gap. And I thought Tom Brayner, he's going to do his usual, put in the last few laps and get fastest lap. So I stayed out for as long as I could without getting cut and undercut in the pit lane. But I actually had the pace on the old tyres to keep JJ behind without having the threat of undercut. So yeah, basically I got the fastest lap with damage, but we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that, but yeah, you had a very good advantage with that, of course, and very well deserved for sure. I was going to ask a quick question, but I've completely forgotten about it now. Yes, controller player. How is it? Obviously, Tom had that as well. How is it to drive around this circuit with track limits as well? Because it must be very difficult with those big chunky curbs that you can't really correct too much over.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I've been playing a set of course or competizione all day, so it's been very difficult for me to get used to the F1 handling model once again. So it's not like a controller issue. It's more of just a skill issue that I've had over the past few hours of racing. But yeah, it's quite easy to not get a penalty. I think it's quite over exaggerated.
Fair enough.
Especially around this track.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much. Great insight right there. Hungary, it's a traction-dependent circuit. Do you think that's a good circuit for you?
Yeah, I think Hungary's a good track. Obviously, me and Niff have had our battles before, and a few incidents as well. But I think Hungary's going to be a good track for me. I just need to look after the tyres. Obviously, the overheating, as you know, is a very big issue. So we'll try our best, and I think I'll come away with our win once again.
Well said. Thank you very much, Zingy. Congratulations, and we'll see you next time. Well done. And that's been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow for the Belgian Grand Prix for the Saturday tier. We'll see you next weekend for the Hungarian Grand Prix with a sprint to add to that. We'll see you on Tuesday if you're going to be with us for the practice lobbies. Enjoy the Olympics, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.